everybody, welcome to Growing Up Geek, the weekly podcast for geek entertainment and nostalgia. My name is Brad, and I am joined by my brother Matt.
Hi.
And my brother Rob.
How's it going?
And this week we're going to talk about technology, or tech as we like to call it. For those who don't know, CES just ended this past Thursday, and that is
the Consumer Electronics Show,
where they show giant plasma screens, robots, and they don't allow the public to see it. But Matt has been following the coverage online, and he's going to share a couple of his favorite stories with us, and Rob as well.
Oh yeah, well I know that me and Rob have both been paying attention to this, and obviously CES every year has the world's next largest television, and this year it was Panasonic with a 150-inch screen. At over $100,000 and very hard to get your hands on. I don't think anybody's going to really want it.
I think it's funny. It's become like this Christmas tradition or something, the lighting of the gigantic plasma screen.
Let me ask both of you guys, how big is too big of a television?
Well, I'd say it's... Einstein worked out a formula for how far you are from the screen.
Yeah.
And
what does he say?
He says he likes it big.
I heard that.
Yeah.
So they got big TVs, but that's not really what you're interested in, I guess.
No. However, digital cameras have been on the rise for, going on a decade. And interestingly enough, Casio is going to be releasing what they advertise as a digital picture camera, a digital still camera. It's only 6 megapixel, which nowadays we're up to like 12 or something. Yeah. However, the special feature of this camera, and by the way, it's called the Excelum Pro EX F1. Right along the side of it, it says in real big letters 60 FPS, which means literally that it can shoot at a full 6 megapixel burst, 60 frames a second. So for, I'd say a second or two, you're able to capture at the full resolution a very smooth sequence of images. You can go as low as about 300 by 90, which is like internet resolution, and at that size, it'll shoot 1,200 frames a second.
Jeez, it's crazy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Let me just ask you, what do you use something like that for? Like bullets through balloons?
Yeah, or like, spitting and paintballing.
Paintball.
There'll be a lot of YouTube videos coming up now that are just like people doing Matrix moves.
Throwing bottles at each other.
Because this is really good for, I guess, slow-mo, right?
Yeah. We can get some good examples of real-life physics.
How fast will that blow through a battery, do you think, if you're shooting 600 frames
battery
second?
Battery technology itself is getting better.
Okay.
Even down to the screens that they're using. They've gone from LCD to OLED, and I think you'll fare all right. And then Canon, who is widely known for quality digital cameras and has been for quite some time, all the way back to the XL1, which was indie filmmakers everywhere began to use that.
Yeah, we had the GL1 for a while, man, you and I.
Yeah, and that was quality.
Yeah.
Canon now is releasing the successor to the HV20, which was last year's top pick from everybody for a high-definition camera at around $1,000 price range. Consumer camera.
Right.
And it was a 1920 by 1080 interlaced camera that could also do a 24p mode.
I think we just blew people's mind hole.
Yeah. Wow, this is getting really geeky, but
I know.
That's okay.
This is extra thick geekiness here.
Yeah, well, we'll cut it down.
Oh, that's all right.
But Canon's now releasing the HV30, which is a mini DV camera that shoots 1920 by 1080 at 30p, 30 frames a second progressive.
I feel like by the end of this conversation, our language will degrade into just numbers.
Yeah.
And then only the machines will understand it.
That's true. And Canon is also releasing 2 models that will shoot, instead of on mini DV tape, onto memory stick.
I wanted to ask you about, camera technology as it's advanced.
Sure.
Is it all switching over to hard drives, or?
They're starting to sell cameras with hard drives inside them, like 60 gig and 40 gig hard drives, but they're also making cameras that have just maybe 16 gigs of flash memory built inside.
16, okay.
And a slot to put your own stick in, which...
Right.
The sticks are getting up to 32 gigs pretty soon.
Yeah, I've been watching the advance of flash memory because I'm really excited about flash memory replacing hard drives.
Oh, yeah.
When it gets cheap enough. How much video can you get on a 16 gig memory stick?
I could say you can definitely get more than you can put on a mini DV tape. 8 gigs is giving you close to an hour already.
Okay, awesome.
So at 16 gigs, you're well over an hour, and you can hold plenty of cards in your pocket.
There you go.
And so solid state is going to be replacing hard drives and tape in both computers and cameras.
There you go, and that's when the robots attack.
Exactly, it's the wave of the future. Now, before we get to robots...
At this point, we'll turn it over to Rob, who's been following the CES as well. And Rob, you've got a story I know you're real excited about.
Well, excited might not be the best words. For people who don't know, there's been this kind of format war going on between high-definition discs out there.
High-def video format.
HD DVD being kind of the lesser technology, but it's also cheaper. Blu-ray being kind of the premium priced thing with, an additional 20 gigabytes to its storage capacity. And everybody's been kind of just trying to figure out who's going to win. A while ago, people were thinking it was going to be HD maybe because Paramount just went exclusive to them. And, if you want to get Star Trek, you have to go with them. And a lot of geeks with HD TVs love Star Trek.
Sure.
And NBC is doing a re-release on television of the original Star Trek with new special effects.
Yeah. And they just released the first season of that on HD DVD.
Well, there you go.
So there you go.
But here's what the story is. Warner Brothers and all of their subsidiaries have decided to go Blu-ray exclusive. So they were making movies for both formats. You can still go out and get Harry Potter on both formats. But they decided, they said, we have to make a decision, and we're choosing Blu-ray. Okay. And that was kind of a huge hit to HD DVD, like crippling, and because Warner Brothers is a huge distributor. I mean, gigantic.
The Matrix.
The Matrix, which was an HD DVD exclusive.
The last big blows that I had seen on this battle was Lost versus Heroes. One format has one format has the other.
Right.
But this seems to me to be putting it into a pretty big death knell for HD DVD.
Well, one of the things that I had heard Warner Brothers give as an explanation was that they said it's the economy being as it is, there's not as much room for people to keep guessing as they build up a library. So they kind of said we need to pick one now. Yeah. So blame it on oil prices.
That's pretty wild because I wondered what it was going to be that would finally sort of push this battle, one way or another. And I really guessed that it was going to be the PlayStation 3 because Sony has put so many out there that all those PlayStation 3 owners are also Blu-ray player owners. Right. I figured, well, as badly selling as that system is, it's still going to be more Blu-ray players than HD DVD players.
Right, and that's when Blu-ray sales first outpaced HD DVD. It was very shortly after Sony released the first 60,000 PlayStation 3s. However, this Christmas, Walmart and Best Buy all had pretty major sales on HD DVD players. So I wouldn't be surprised to learn that there's a lot of angered people here.
Let's not forget that Universal and DreamWorks are still HD DVD exclusive. And so Toshiba kind of said, well, we're not going to fully walk away from HD DVD. Most likely we're going to start making dual format.
Now, I was going to ask you guys, that seems like, the person that walks into the middle of all this, the obvious question, hey, why don't just make a player that plays both?
And there is a player out there that does so. I can't remember who manufactures it. It might be LG. I don't know.
Yeah.
Rob, do you know?
Samsung BP U5500.
Of course.
No, of course. No, that was just revealed at CES. It's a hybrid player. There are other hybrid players too, but the problem with all of those is they're pretty darn expensive, and the cheapest thing to do is just to buy the PlayStation 3, and if you have a 360, which a lot of people do, buy the $200 HD DVD add-on, and there you go. You have them both.
Yeah. So Matt, you're not necessarily convinced that one of these formats has one.
Well, I think personally, and I remember saying this too, I think back when there was still just DVD, that it's, in the long run, we're eventually going to be downloading our high-definition content.
Right.
It's going to be a diskless world. It's I don't know how to put it exactly.
Yeah.
And the infrastructure isn't exactly there yet for us to get our full 50 gigs in 2 hours.
And Bill Gates, who part of this CES was devoted to his last day at Microsoft, he had said that this is the last format war. that, and format war sounds so brutal. I mean, competition, whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
But he said this is the last one because he foresees that, like Matt was saying, it will go digital distribution.
I'm waiting for that announcement. I'm waiting for somebody. It'll probably be Apple because they tend to listen to people when nobody else will, and just say, oh yes, and now you can own these movies, and it's forever,
I guess all of this leads us to the invasion of the robots, the inevitable invasion.
Yes, Wowie Rovio Robot, Sports GPS and Wi-Fi, a company called Wowie.
Woohoo!
Oh, I saw this, yeah.
Yeah, they've begun to make a couple different little, and they call them robots, but it's certainly not the robot in the sense that we think. We kind of picture at least something that resembles a humanoid.
Like a man shape.
Yes, it's got arms and legs, or it's got like a head. And there are a couple there at the CES that are made to look as if they have to represent a human structure.
That's always freaky.
The Rovio, almost like a Roomba, more or less lays low to your floor. However...
Yeah, what is this thing for, again? You've got a picture of it up on your laptop there, and it's pretty...
Yeah, it's got some awesome...
Looks like a Wi-Fi router on wheels?
Yeah, something like that. It roams your house with a webcam built into it, and since it has GPS, it can also roam your house knowing where every room in your house is. So...
Oh, boy.
From a hotel in Las Vegas, you could tell your Rovio over your laptop to go to your son Brian's room.
There you go.
Through the miracle of the global positioning system.
I think like most technology, this all starts with a utopian kind of idea of good uses, but I gotta ask, are any of you considering... I mean, just... Rovio can find himself into a lot of areas.
Oh, sure, yeah.
There's probably like a dozen 80s sci-fi comedies where a kid scientist builds a robot to go into a girl's bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
To me, this seems like that's a reality now.
Right. As soon as they added cameras to cell phones, Congress did enact a law that says you're not allowed to, it's illegal to send illicit images.
Yeah.
So you're in the bathroom, the door cracks open,
and there's Rovio.
And Rovio comes roaming in.
Yeah.
Well, what do? Do you just push it out of the door?
I think you can flip the thing over and it'll stop being able to work.
Yeah, for now,
like a beetle?
For now, Rovio can be easily overpowered.
Okay,
but,
and it's
at
pretty.
least it's not super strong yet.
Have you seen any robots at the CES, Rob?
You know what? Well, it's interesting that you mentioned Wowie. They're actually responsible for a lot of sort of the more abominable creations that I've seen.
Oh, you're right.
If anybody's been to a Sharper Image store, I'm sure you've seen the Elvis bot.
I have not.
And I'm glad.
Yeah. Wow. This is...
Wowie.
Wowie. I say whenever I look at it and children run screaming as it sings Viva Las Vegas... It's
oh gosh.
It's the torso of Elvis, the upper torso.
With the legs of a robot?
Right, exactly.
Well, I never thought that's what would be the invaders, but...
Yeah, it's an animatronic Elvis for your home that sings when you push a button, and it's really disturbing to look at.
Wow. Well, as soon as they add a webcam to that...
Yeah. Then I'm sold.
Yeah.
When I can have Elvis, like his torso, roam into the bathroom and look at me, then I'll accept
we have arrived.
Yeah, when the robot Elvis dies on my toilet. But I think... Certainly the most interesting robot at the show, at least it made me think of you, Rob, was the new Gibson guitar that tunes itself.
Oh.
And what you do is grab one of the volume knobs on the guitar, pull it out, and then push a button in the middle of the knob, and some red lights begin to glow.
Oh, God!
You strum the guitar, and... all the knobs up at the top begin to turn, and it tunes itself.
Wow.
And then you're good. It's good to go.
That's something you've always thought of having. But then if it costs, like, even $100, I don't think it's worth the price. You can buy, like, a $10 tuner and just do it yourself. I don't think any roadies have to fear for their jobs just yet.
So still a bit of the domain of the opulent.
Yeah, it's...
There you go, your new novel, The Domain of the Opera.
They're a good band, but...
And on that note, if you'd like to send us an email, you may do so. Our email address is mail@growing-up-geek.com. Maybe you've got geeky memories you want to share or technology you're interested in. Let us know. We'd love to hear from you. And we will close it out this week then. My name is Brad.
And I'm Matt.
And this is Rob.
We'll see you later.